Hi, guys. Today we have Daniel with us, who is the co founder and CEO of Warmy, which is a very high end advanced solution for email warm up and deliverability. Welcome to the show, Daniel.
Thank you for having me here.
Awesome. So, Daniel, today I think let's go as deep as possible into email deliverability. What is it? How to get better at it? How to measure it? Let's have a fantastic episode on deliverability today. So let's start. We can start with the basics. What is email deliverability?
Yeah, so the email deliverability is the possibility to land in the inbox and not in the spam of our recipients. It becomes harder and harder every day because the email providers want to avoid the spam from their customers and keep them like the inbox only with the relevant content for them. This is why it becomes harder every day. And most of the time, the email providers don't like the spammer who send emails that the other side don't want to get. This is why if you want to succeed with emails, email deliverability is very important. So this is one of the key problems that you need to solve if you want to be good cold emailer, lead generator, or email marketer. So email deliverability is super important.
Absolutely. And I think, Daniel, like the first thing people hear when they want to start anything in cold email is to have a warm up service or use warm up. So, what exactly is warming up?
Yeah, so if someone want to send cold emails, and so the first rule is to send not from your main domain, which can cause a lot of problems. I can talk about it hours, but never send from your main domain. You can use a dummy domain, so you will not be upset if you will use this domain.
Yeah.
So, but when you buy a new domain, so a lot of blacklists and spam filters can detect it, and with higher probability, you will end in the inbox if you in the spam if you will start sending emails from it. The warm up tools helps the domain to increase the reputation and build kind of reputation, like make some interactions. For the warm up tools before the technology, what normally people did, they just subscribed to a newsletter, so we started receiving a lot of emails to a lot of websites. They just came and put their email address and received a lot of emails, and this is also kind of a warm up. This is what before the tool, before I think 2019, 2018, this is what people did, or ask their friends or colleagues to reply to them. So this is they did this warm up like kind of manually. But what the warm up did, like build the reputation and started to show activity on their domain. So the blacklist and the spam filters will let it in into the inbox.
That's very interesting. I didn't know that subscribing to newsletters was a tactic that works for boosting deliverability.
Yeah.
I guess the real challenge is once you subscribe to 100 newsletters, how do you get rid of them once you're warmed up? Uh, cool. And Daniel, how did you get started with Warmy? Like, what was your journey like before you started?
Me and my co-founder had a business before. We had a B2B, it was a physical product. We were selling online, a physical product. And one day we decided that we want to sell this product not online, but to a physical store. And we started sending emails. It was back into, I think, 2014 or something like that, 2015, when we started sending emails to physical stores in the US and said, we have this product. Do you want to buy it from us? We sent like the minimum order is that and that. We started sending emails. We didn't know anything about emails back then. And what happened is that we started to see less replies with the time, and we didn't understand why it happens. Why we see no replies, nobody open our emails, and we figure out that there's a thing of building reputation, etc., etc., etc. And we try to find a solution back then. What can help us to build a reputation? Our domain, so we will get to this physical stores, to this brick and mortar stores. And yes, and finally we understood or that we are also engineers. Me and my co-founder are both engineers. We spent more than 10 years in university, each one of us. We developed it by ourselves, to send more emails, and this is how everything started.
I see. That's such an important point that deliverability, it's often a silent killer, right? Like you start something with a new domain or maybe an old domain, and initially you're getting great results, but over time you just stop getting replies. And if you're not measuring and monitoring, it's very confusing. You're like, what happened? I mean, yesterday, last month, last week, it was working and now it's stopped. So I think it makes a lot of sense to keep an eye on different deliverability metrics. Actually, what would be some deliverability metrics that you recommend people keep track of, Daniel?
Yeah, so nobody can tell you if all your emails land in the inbox. There is never 100% of your emails will be in the inbox. Never, you can do nothing about it. But some of the things you can track, which are very important. The first is you can use Google
Yeah.
Postmaster or SNDS. These tools are free to use. Not always they show some data. You need to
Mm.
send enough emails to see something there, but they're very, very, very reliable tools that you can see what is your domain reputation. If your domain reputation is low, it will be very hard to get into the inbox. But if you send not a lot of emails per day, like
Yeah.
50, 100, 200, probably you will see nothing there. You need to send enough emails to see something. So this is the most reliable tools, and they are free. I will recommend. The second tool to test is like a placement test tool. There are a lot of them out there. These tools will help you to understand plus minus. It doesn't mean if in the placement test you landed 80% in the inbox of Google, all if you will send all around the world, it will be 80%. It doesn't. It just the feeling if there is any problem or not. So this is the second tool. The third, if you are
It's for, sorry, it's for that sample size, right? Like
yeah,
this placement tool, how many inboxes they have, it's
yeah,
just a sample.
that's a sample, but yeah, it's kind of feeling. It's just a feeling. Okay. The third tool is if God forbid the domain is blacklisted or something like that, or IP is blacklisted. Again, it also can impact on
Mm.
deliverability. It will not tell you that you will land less in the inbox and how many percent will be the inbox, but again, it can
Mm.
impact on deliverability. So the blacklist of IP and the domain, Google Postmaster, placement test, and the most and the bad thing to do is the following thing. If you know your benchmark, if you will send, let's say you have a group of people, a prospect that you want to send an email, and you used to get, I don't know, 30% of replies or 80% of replies, and you can get it with the message, with the prospect, with the business you are trying to generate leads. So if you have less than that, like significantly less, not in 1-2%, something is wrong with your deliverability if you didn't change anything
Mm.
in your message or your prospect. So this is the most reliable thing, because finally what we're
Yeah.
trying to do with deliverability is to generate money for our business, or it's leads, or if you do newsletters, so you want to drive people to your website. If you see a drop in your newsletter, people less clicking on the button, so something happened with deliverability if you didn't
Mm.
change the template. So this is the most, like, I will rely on this, only on this, and see, and will understand there is a problem with deliverability.
Of course. That's really good advice. Like just benchmark it against your own performance. If you're getting like 30% reply rate one week and the next week it's 29, maybe nothing to worry about. But if it drops to 15 or 10, there's a big difference and you've not changed anything, lead gen is still the same, probably have a problem. Got it. And Daniel, like let's talk about warm up tools for a second. Like so, when people start with a cold email funnel, they see like so many different warm up tools. How can people judge what's the quality of different warm up tools?
Yes, so I want to talk about what is warm up. Why do we need it? So first, when we send cold emails, I love to compare it like eating a junk food. The domain becomes sick, something going on, and with the time it will be sicker until it will
Mm.
die one day, and that's all. The warm up is like going to the gym, and the balance between going to the gym and eating junk food all the time can keep the domain healthier for a longer time. So the warm up is not a one time process; it's a continuous process. So
Mm.
at the beginning you build the reputation, and then you keep it on the background, so it will also interact with your domain, positive interactions. So the balance between sending cold emails, eating junk food, and going to the gym will make sense. Otherwise, people think that a warm up, it's a one time thing, like you do it for 1 week, 2 week, 1 month, 2 months, doesn't matter, and then okay, your domain is healthy, you can do whatever you want. It's totally wrong. It's totally wrong. You have to keep the warm up on the background and keep sending emails and track the metrics, like
Yeah.
the reply rates or the click rates, whatever you measure, and make sure it's always the same, or it's growing, or it's keep the same according to your bench.
Got it. Actually, that's so true, Daniel. I've had multiple clients that say the following to me that, hey, I've purchased like 3 domains. I've been warming them for a month. So now we're ready to start. I'm going to turn the warm up off. And I say, don't do that. Like, why would you do that? Just always keep it on. As long as you have money in the bank and your company is like surviving, keep your domains and your accounts warmed up.
Yeah, very, very important, because they keep the health of the domain alive for longer. But one day it will happen to every cold emailer. His domain will die.
Yeah.
He will hit some spam trap. He will got listed on some blacklist. People will mark him as a spammer, like as a spammer or abuse on Gmail. It's very easy to find this button, and this domain will die. So this is the main reason why it's not recommended to send from the main domain, which can cause a lot of problems afterwards. For example, even LinkedIn
Yeah.
can block your ads if you're a super heavy sender. If you register your company or a page on LinkedIn with the domain that you are abusing with it, LinkedIn even can block you from doing LinkedIn ads. Yeah, so this is one of the problem. SEO can impact. Yeah, so it's not only like domain reputation, and that's all. It's very, very important. So
It's a
cold
big
emails is
warning.
something
Yeah.
nobody likes in terms of in the email world, but we need to do that because we want to generate leads, and this is the most cost effective way to generate leads, other than Google.
It's like going to the gym, as you said, right? Like it's sometimes unpleasant, but it's necessary. So Daniel, let's then you mentioned spam traps. So before we get to spam traps, like let's quickly talk about lead gen and what's the best way to go about it.
You mean cold lead generation?
Yeah, yeah, for cold outreach, yes.
Yeah, so today I'm in the lead generation, as I mentioned, from 2014, because I tried to get the physical stores to buy from me. Today, what it works, the best thing is to kind of start building relationship and then send an kind of offer. I get by myself a lot of cold emails, a lot of companies targeting me, specifically in development area. So yes, there are companies that want to offer me developers, etc. But the first email is the offer me immediately. And most of them talking about them, how good they are, not about me. Like, why you send me, talk about me.
Yeah,
Yeah, don't talk about how good I am, but talk about what the problem you think I have. And if you don't do that, I feel it's cold, and that's all. And this is why I not reply. So, but if we will start building kind of relationship through LinkedIn and by email, and some engagement with this prospect, and then we will offer him maybe a short call of 10 minutes, and then we start building it, then it will work much better. Because today the lead generation tools are very common, and it's very easy to do that. So imagine you already feel it's a robot, you feel that it's not personal, you feel that they are trying to sell you from the first email, from the follow-up, from the third follow-up, then the first follow-up. They try to sell you and sell you, and it doesn't work anymore. This is how I feel. So the best practices, as I see, and other experts also writing about it, it's building a meaningful relationship with this prospect, and then trying to offer him your product, etc.
yeah. When you were just talking about this, Daniel, you hit upon a pain point. I think pretty much every business owner, and I think the IT services industry is a bit notorious for this, but like so much like low quality cold email, as you said, like just like a big page of text. This is what we do, blah 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 blah. Blah. Do you need IT services? And I feel like if you do even like 5 seconds of research on a person, you'll figure out that most of us actually don't need IT development services. But yeah, I think that probably needs to change, and it's giving a bad name to to the whole industry. And I also relate to what you were saying about building a relationship. It's making an offer to sell something on the first email. It's like ringing a doorbell and just trying to sell somebody something. It's unnatural, and people are defensive against it. Makes way more sense to, as you said, personalize it, talk about their problem first, give them a reason why you're reaching out specifically, what you can help them with, and then start with a softer CTA. Like you don't always have to hop on a call on the first email. Like you can, yeah. But anyways, that's for another time.
And yeah, and because it's very crowded right now, it feels like almost every business is doing a cold email or something like that. You should be, and this is something I believe at least the AI tools yet didn't solve. The creativity, I don't think the I developed AI tools way before it was sexy as it's right now. And I was also in an Israeli Shark Tank with a AI tool that detects melanoma with image processing 7 8 years ago. So, but the main problem the AI tools yet cannot solve is the creativity, to be creative and to be different. And this is what when you write a cold email, you should think different. You have to be different than any other cold emailer. And how to be different? It's very hard to be different. If you will be different, you will get this first interaction. It's just, so this is the most important thing, to get something from this prospect, like something. Okay, because right now if he wants to talk to you or not, and if you can improve or not. But if you don't get any response, you are lost. So to be different is very hard, because there is no AI tool that can help you to be different. So if everyone said the first should be icebreaker, the second is, I don't know, something, people get used to it. But how you can be different, super different? So yeah, because again, because this tool is very, very common right now, you easily can make another template. You think you are different, but any like you, thousands of people use it. So again, The prospect see the same thing. Okay, you spoke about my university with an icebreaker, but I saw it 10 times yesterday. And again, I know you are a machine. So how to be different? This is very, very hard question, and no AI tool can do that. The icebreaker not makes you different. So creativity.
I think there's this, for example, this is like the anti-inductive effect, right? Like the more people that start doing something, the effectiveness goes down. I remember like one of the popular email platforms. They have this tool where you can mail merge a name onto an image, like a coffee cup with your name on it. And when it first started, I believe it was like ridiculously effective because nobody had seen it before, and prospects were like, okay, this is something amazing. Like this guy went to the effort of putting my name on a cup of coffee. But now, as that platform has grown and more people are using it, yeah, we've seen like it's not performing quite as well as it used to.
So this is why the new era is building kind of relationship. It's not like sending email. Is first maybe to connect on LinkedIn, start maybe sharing some post, comment on some post, and then send an email. I like your post about this and that.
I mean, this is essentially omni-channel outreach, right? Like what like based on your experience, like what are some of the sort of best practices around doing that?
I don't think there is a pattern that you can do. There's no like one pattern that you can do and it will work. Every prospect, you want to approach him in a different way. So if you will do manually, I guess SDRs that working manually one by one, they're generating much more effective leads and better leads, but they are doing slowly because you're doing it manually. So this is the trade-off. But normally how you need to build trust. This person loves what I'm doing on LinkedIn. It's not I have also LinkedIn cold outreach to me, and I see people sending me a message on LinkedIn without seeing my profile. It looks so fake. I know it's fake, but I believe to those that, like, for example, what I believe that saw my profile, like my post, share my post, comment something interesting about my post. I like what you just wrote. I think this is that and that and that. Yeah, and then more and more engage with me, and I see their name again and again, and I see their company again and again. Then they said an email, I like your something like that. They build a relationship with me and they say, you want my 15 or 20 or 30 minutes of my time? Let's do that because you spend your time on me. This is what I feel. Maybe it's a machine, but it's a crazy machine if it's doing like that.
Yeah, really good machine.
Yeah.
No, I think that's key, right? Like there has to be some balance of exchange, right? Like if somebody has spent a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks cultivating that relationship,
Yeah.
investing their time consistently, then it's way more likely that the prospect will feel like, okay, it's worth it to have a small chat with them at least and see what they're doing. Like spam on LinkedIn is so bad. Like I think I get about 1 to 2 messages every week from people trying to sell me marketing services. I run a marketing company. I don't need marketing services. But anyways, Daniel, I do want to rewind a little bit and want to ask you about spam traps since you mentioned that earlier. Like what when somebody is doing lead gen and they're finding prospects and they want to do cold outreach, what are the different kinds of emails they should be careful about? And how can we determine what email is a spam trap and what is a catch-all and which is a good email to reach?
So the first rule, you will never know what is a spam trap. No tool in the world can detect what is a spam. It can detect, but all spam traps, all, okay, because they have some data, etc.
Mm,
But what is spam traps? Spam traps is a fake email addresses, and they're not fake. They're very smart companies generate these emails. They're, for example, yeah, I will not even put the names of these companies because this is what I learned, etc. with the time. But these companies, what they are doing, there are a lot of companies like that. What they are doing, there are, for example, there is a company that shut it down. Okay, they're a beautiful website. They looks very real. What these companies that holding the spam traps doing, they're buying this domain, so they're holding this website right now. This company is not existing anymore. But you, if you generate leads, you think that this is a normal company. This company has LinkedIn profile, LinkedIn employees. They're buying everything, or they're generating profile on LinkedIn. It looks very real. And what you do then, you send cold outreach. You think this is the CMO of this company, of, I don't know, electric company, or I don't know what they're doing. And you send an email and you just hit your spam traps. They are not publishing this is a spam trap. So the information the cleaning list companies has, this is not an actual information. So if it's written spam trap, or even if they are not detected this spam trap, it doesn't mean that this is not a spam trap. Okay, so this is what you know. This is very, very sophisticated companies, because Google buy this information. Google will buy information from serious companies, believe me. So Google knows, like, buy from these companies that generate spam traps. They buy information. Outlook buys information. So they are generating every day. This is what they are doing. There are people in these companies waking up every day. How it can be sophisticated? So people will send me an email, will think I'm a real person, but I will catch this person I will report this domain as a spammer, and I will kill him. So spam traps can kill your domain. And as I said, one day when you do cold emails, you will hit the spam trap. Someday it will happen, so it can impact dramatically on deliverability.
Got it. I did not know about this adverse business model behind the spam traps. That's very interesting. That's new information to me.
So the cleaning companies are doing a good job, but they cannot detect all the spam traps.
It's not 100% accurate.
No, it's far from 100% in spam traps because, as I said, these companies are very, very, very sophisticated. Very sophisticated. Yeah, so you think you send to some CMO, I don't know, wherever the CEO, and it looks real. The website looks real. Everything is. This is one of the methods that, like, I spoke with the CEO of one of these companies, and he said this is one of the ways. But a lot of them, like, this kind of a secret. You will never know this.
You won't even know how they operate, how they get it.
No, 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 no. For you are going to generate leads. You send them an email. For you, it looks okay. But actually, you hit the spam trap, and they wrote in their table, okay, this domain that they spam and I spam. Okay, so I'm going to report it to Google, to Outlook, to Yahoo, etc.
Is there something we can do, Daniel, to guard against this? Nothing to be done.
Nothing, nothing.
Just have multiple domains. Yeah.
Yes, you can. No, as a cold emailer, you cannot do nothing. But if you send newsletter, for example, you can avoid it by double opt-in because these spam traps will not do the opt-in. Yeah, they will not opt-in. So if you want to send a newsletter and be safe, make a double opt-in. So this is one of the ways to kill a domain. By the way, if you don't have a double opt-in, it's possible to kill your domain because I will go to your website. I will put a spam trap if I know an address of a spam trap. I will put it in your newsletter. You will send the next newsletter, and again and again and again, and I will kill your domain. But with cold emails, you cannot do that because you are not having double opt-in. So one day your domain will die. So it's better it will not be your main domain.
Some dangerous information we revealed to the world today, Daniel. How to kill newsletters. Yeah, how to kill domains, essentially.
How to kill domains? Reputation. Very easy. Very easy. Take some spam traps, subscribe to the newsletter of some company, and that's all.
They don't have double opt-in. That's it. Slow but sure death. Maybe even fast death. And okay, so this is spam traps. What about catch-alls, Daniel? Like, what should we do about them?
No, catch-alls is like we are not sure. This is the answer. I'm not sure. I'm sure in this percentage there are some companies that say that they detect more catch-all, less catch-all, but they are not sure. Like it's kind of I don't sure, but it's your decision if you want to use this my information or not. But again, this is a business decision. If you kill all the catch-all, for example, if you kill them, you don't send them an email, you send to less prospects. But higher probability, you land some spam trap or it will be bounced, etc. So it's a business decision. But if you buy a dummy domain for $2, $1, I don't know, and you don't care about it, you just want to send, and you don't care about buying another domain, you can do that.
Got it. Okay, and considering that, let's move on to the next step. So we've done lead gen, we are warming up. Now we're sending the messages. You advise that not using the regular patterns helps, which obviously because people get burnt out if they see similar emails again and again. What do you think is the role of personalization in terms of like deliverability?
Okay, can you elaborate a little bit? I didn't get the question.
Yeah. So, there's common advice that cold emails, you should try to personalize them as much as possible. Now, of course, personalization can affect the reply rate because, people feel like it's relevant, it's somebody spent effort. But does it also impact deliverability in some way?
Because the content, if you send different content, as it's more different than one content from the other, it will also impact deliverability, obviously. And this is why right now warm up tools added also the ability to warm up your template itself, because there are four factors on the deliverability. The message itself. Okay, we even made a test. Everything is the same, but the message is different. You see more spam and less spam. This is the first thing. The second is the mailbox itself. If you have a company and you hired a new person, a new SDR, the old SDR will have a better reputation than the new one if you just open this mailbox. So even the mailbox itself is kind of reputation because we saw the difference. So the mailbox should be older. The domain and the IP. So fourth thing: template, mailbox, domain, and IP. So as you work with all of them, you will get much higher deliverability.
That makes sense. I actually recently had an interesting experience with a client where we were doing emailing, and what we saw was if we used open tracking. So basic outcome was that open tracking affects deliverability a lot. especially if you use open tracking that is not on a custom domain. We were using like one of these free tools which gives you like a score on deliverability, and we saw anywhere between like a 30-35% reduction in deliverability by using a common open tracker, and then switching it to a custom open tracking domain improved it, but it was still not as good as no open tracking.
Yeah, open tracking is a very simple technology. I can explain. It's like a small pixel. You know that? Or
Small pixel.
yeah, copy is like adding an image. So it's like adding an image to your message, and it's not recommended to add it to adding files. Even links inside is not recommended because the link itself, there is a reputation to the website itself, like not the link. So if the reputation is low of the link of the website, it can impact the visibility. So files, links, etc. So the messaging is super super important.
That makes sense. So, Daniel, this has been so value packed. There's one last thing I want to talk to you about before we finish this chat, which is about like, what if somebody, did something wrong and now they are on a few block lists? What can they do now? Is it like game over for that domain, or there's still some steps that we can take?
No, nothing is game over, but again, it's a business decision. To get out of the blacklist, first thing to do is to stop sending emails. Okay, stop sending emails and it will get out by itself. So, this blacklist companies that generating the spam traps, etc., give you like time to repair. Show us that you don't hit these spam traps or other spam traps, or show us a good activity and we will let you go. Okay, but we will not give you forever. You have 1, 2, 3 times to try, and then if third time or I don't know, fourth time they decide, yeah, they will not publish it. But first time you hit, again, we will kill you forever. You will be in this blacklist. So stop sending emails. Okay, stop sending emails and concentrate more on warm up, on positive activity, but don't send cold emails. This is one of the things. You can be delisted. Every blacklist has a public website. You can go there. You can ask to be delisted. But if you are a cold emailer, you have no good reason to that you can write there. Why? Because they will ask you what is the reason you think you got here, and what would you say? Like, I send cold emails. Okay, so this is why we are here, to avoid this. So again, it's a business decision if you want to wait or spend more time, or just throw away this domain. If you're a cold emailer, yeah, throw away this domain, buy another one, and be ready. So what normally cold emailers are doing, or lead generators, is they have a bunch of domains that are ready to send emails. If one is died, the second is ready, and third and fourth.
Use the second one. Yeah, got it. Awesome. And Daniel, like before we end the chat, like, do you also want to tell us a little bit about Warmy and like what are some of the things startup founders can do with it?
Yeah, so what we did in Warmy is like a very sophisticated deliverability tool. It's not just a small warm up that you come and you warm up and go. It's super sophisticated. When you connect to us any email account or domain, we detect a lot of parameters about it, and we do the strategy by ourselves, how to do that, how many emails to send more, to send less, the activity. You can add your template to the warm up, which is very important, as I mentioned. We have this placement test totally for free in our even public page. You can run the placement test in our public page. It's a free tool that you can see your domain reputation, IP reputation, if you like the seed listing, if you where you're landing in different providers, DNS records. Everything is free on our website, so you can check it as well. You can warm up with a specific provider. Very important. Let's say you want to concentrate on Outlooks, so we will concentrate your warm up with Outlooks only, or with Gmails or Yahoos, etc. So we are a company concentrated only on deliverability, which is very very huge problem. It becomes harder every day, and this is what we are doing. It's not a side tool or something, So this is a huge problem. We know how hard it is, and this is what we are doing. And we are capable of sending up to 5,000 warm up emails a day, the most robust tool out there right now in the world of email deliverability. So it's as I said, 5,000 warm up emails a day interactions, while the others can send in a 30, 50, 100, 200 maximum.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for sharing. Sounds like a really powerful tool. Cool. Thanks a lot for your time, Daniel. This was a super, super value packed chat for all the cold emailers and startup founders who are listening in.
Thank you so much. Thank you.